Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
You bet.
Okay, so today we're looking at Pi Network. It's this crypto project, and it's been making a lot of noise lately,
Yeah.
especially with, the whole mainnet launch thing.
Yeah. A lot of buzz around that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got some interesting bits from a video called Pi Network Price, Current Status, Opportunities, and Hidden Truths. So we're going to try to break down all the hype,
Right.
all the potential, what's real and what's not.
The hidden truths, right.
Exactly, exactly. So maybe let's start with this whole mainnet launch. Like, what even is that?
Okay, well, Pi Network, they launched their open mainnet February 20th, 2025, just a couple days ago.
Oh, wow. So it's brand new.
Yeah, super fresh.
So,
And everybody's kind of wondering, what does this mean? Like, is it going to take off?
I mean, the price went crazy, right? It like shot up to over $3 on BitChit, and
This
then
did. It hit $3.41, which is, pretty impressive for a brand new coin.
right, but then it tanked.
And then it dropped, yeah, all the way down to $1 a one.
So what's the deal with that? Like, why such a big swing?
Well, with crypto, especially new launches, you often see a lot of volatility.
Okay.
And in this case, a lot of early miners, the people who've been mining Pi for a while, they probably saw that price spike and thought, hey, time to cash out.
Take the money and run.
Exactly. They got in early, maybe didn't invest much, and now they're making a profit.
So is that like a bad sign? Does it mean that the whole thing is just a like pump and dump scheme?
Well, not necessarily. It's definitely something to be aware of, but it's also pretty typical behavior in the crypto world,
Yeah.
especially with, a project that's just getting started.
So how does the mainnet launch, how does that play into all this? Like, what does it actually mean for Pi Network?
Right. So an open mainnet basically means the network is live. It's fully operational.
Okay.
Anyone can join. Anyone can use it. Before this, Pi was in this kind of testing phase, a closed network.
Like a beta, yeah.
Exactly, a beta. So reaching open mainnet, it's a really big step for any cryptocurrency because it means the project is, it's moving beyond just development.
It's becoming real.
Exactly. It's entering the real world.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Going back to the whole price thing, that there's also this vote going on right now about whether Pi will get listed on Binance.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's huge.
That's a big deal, right?
Huge. Binance is like, if you think of it like Wall Street, Binance is like the New York Stock Exchange of crypto. It's the biggest exchange out there.
Okay, so like everyone's on it.
Pretty much, yeah. So if Pi gets listed on Binance, it would mean a much wider audience for the coin. Way more people could buy and sell it easily.
So that would probably boost the price, right?
It could, yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
More demand usually means higher prices.
But are there any downsides to getting listed on, a massive exchange like that?
That's a good question. I mean, yeah, there can be. Like sometimes we've seen coins get listed and then they become even more volatile. Because you've got all these new investors jumping in, maybe not really understanding the project.
So it's a bit of a gamble.
It can be, yeah. And also, once you're on a big exchange like Binance, you attract more attention from regulators.
Oh, right, because they want to make sure everything's above board.
Exactly. Make sure it's all legal and compliant.
So it's not just a free-for-all, like the Wild West.
Not anymore, no.
Okay, so let's move on to some of the, what the video called Hidden Truths.
Okay.
They talked about these KYC challenges. A lot of users are apparently having trouble verifying their identities, which means their Pi is basically locked up.
Right. Yeah, KYC is a big thing in crypto these days. Know your customer. It's all about preventing money laundering and fraud.
Makes sense.
And Pi Network, they're using this decentralized KYC process where users actually verify each other.
Oh, interesting.
Which sounds good in theory, but it seems like it's causing some problems in practice. Like people are getting rejected for really minor reasons, and it's just taking forever for a lot of people to get verified.
So is it more than just like checking a box and uploading your ID?
Yeah, it's more involved. Like usually you'd provide a government ID, maybe proof of address, and that's it. But with this decentralized thing, it's more subjective, It depends on other users vouching for you.
So it's kind of like a trust system.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, and then there are these rumors about insider selling, like the Pi Core team. Some of them might be selling off their own Pi.
Yeah, I've heard about that too. And that's not a good look.
Yeah.
Transparency is really important in any project, especially crypto. So if the people who created Pi are selling off a bunch of it, it makes you wonder.
Do they even believe in it themselves?
Exactly. Now, there's no proof yet that this is actually happening on a large scale, but it's something to keep an eye on for sure.
Definitely something to watch. And then there's this other interesting thing, these rumors about secret partnerships with e-commerce companies.
Oh, right.
Like, could we actually start using Pi to buy things?
Yeah. That's the big question, right? Like, for a cryptocurrency to really succeed, it needs to have real world use
So
cases.
not just trading it on exchanges.
Right. You need to be able to actually use it to buy stuff like everyday things.
So if Pi can get these partnerships going, that would be huge.
It would be a game changer. It would mean that Pi is actually useful, not just speculative.
Okay, so taking all of this into account, the price swings, the
Yeah.
Binance thing, the KYC issues, the partnerships, like, what's the bottom line? Should people invest in Pi?
It's tough to say. I mean, Pi is still very early in its development.
Right.
It has huge community, lots of people are excited about it, and the whole mobile mining thing made it really accessible.
Yeah.
But there are still a lot of unknowns. Like, the price is volatile, the KYC process is a mess, and we don't know if these partnerships will actually happen.
So it's like a lot of potential, but also a lot of risk.
Exactly. It's a high risk, high reward kind of situation.
So what's like the one thing that people should be watching most closely in the coming months?
For me, it's all about real world adoption. Like, can Pi actually become a currency that people use in their everyday lives?
If it can, then it has a chance to really disrupt things.
Absolutely. But it's a big if.
Yeah, well said. So for all of you listening, Pi Network is definitely a project to keep an eye on. It could be the next big thing in crypto, but there are also some red flags to watch out for.
And don't let the fear of missing out, the FOMO, cloud your judgment.
Right. Make your own decisions, do your research, and don't invest more than you can afford to lose.
Exactly.
Well, that's about it for this deep dive into Pi Network. It's been a fascinating journey, and we'll be back soon with more deep dives into other exciting topics.